If you're the kind of person who kicks yourself for making mistakes, keep watching. I'm about to share a process which can completely shift your experience of making mistakes and maybe even make you more effective at preventing them in future. By the way, I'm Michael Ravenwood, and I empower people to enjoy their evolution. Now, the key to shifting your experience of something is adjusting your perspective. When you look at mistakes as something that define you, rather than something that you can learn from, there's a different experience for certain. So the process that I referred to is first acknowledge, hey, I noticed that I made a mistake, and appreciate that. Like it or not, there's a bunch of mistakes that you don't even know you're making. So just to acknowledge that you've seen the mistake and to appreciate that you know it now is a good thing. So, after acknowledgement and appreciation, there comes amendment and adaptation. Making amends when you've done harm to somebody is really important. It could be something as simple as gluing something back together, but it could be more complex. Regardless, feeling good about your mistakes does depend upon whether or not you've actually tried to do something to make up for them. Adaptation has to do with seeing what you can learn for future. And this is where mistakes are really a gift. If you simply acknowledge that everybody makes mistakes, and the only way you'll know what to do next time is if you've made a mistake and it really lands for you. So acknowledging is really important because then you can accept and adjust for next time. And the final step tends to be the hardest for a lot of people, which is moving along. So much more damage is being done by holding on to a mistake that we've made, agonizing over it, and actually getting insecure, and then maybe making the same kind of mistake next time because you're feeling such a state of anxiety over things. The more you can acknowledge when mistakes happen, appreciate the fact that you've noticed, make amends where they're necessary, and then adapt, the more you've used your mistake as a gift. Moving along then frees you of the burden. If you can forgive yourself and just let go of it, you're less likely to make a mistake in the future. Now, a little bit about the definition of a mistake. A lot of people like to say that there are no mistakes, and that it is because we learn from things that those things are not actually mistakes. And while I appreciate this perspective, I tend to take a more practical view on it. Meaning, when you're making a movie, for example, and you have a take, and the wrong words are said, and you need to retake it, that was a mistake. In a similar way, if you're going to help your friend with a project and you forget the item you need to help them, that was a mistake. Meaning that there were unintended consequences, and your ability to help your friend is reduced by the mistake that you made. I prefer to simply acknowledge that mistakes happen and still see that there's value in them. I think people who like to say that there are no mistakes are really trying to absolve us of guilt and shame. Whereas I think it's most fruitful to acknowledge that there are mistakes and just let go of the guilt and shame anyway. So, if you found this 5-part process helpful, put oops in the comments. If you put oops in the comments, then I'll know that you got the message. Mistakes are not to be feared. They're to be understood and appreciated.